Hi and welcome to pjdoeslife. I'm PJ, this is me doing life. This is the channel where I talk about things that matter to me and I hope that you get in the discussion as well. Today I want to talk about a book that I think has had a significant impact on me as any I can remember. It's not a book that's taught me anything new, but it is a book that's changed the way I think about how I relate to things. It's called The Continuum Concept by Jean Liedloff. And it looks like a baby book, but it's not. It's a book about all of humanity, really. And it's got one quote on it I want to read you by John Holy. Good name, John Holy. That's the holiest name I've ever heard. Author of How Children Learn. He said, "I don't know whether the world can be saved by a book, but if it could be, this might just be the book." And I'm like, yeah, after reading this, I'm thinking yes. I think like a lot of people in our society, I've been searching for quite a while, as long as I can remember really, for an answer to this question, that underneath my moods, whether I'm happy or sad, having a good time or a shitty time or whatever, deep down, there is in me, and I think in so many people in our whole culture and civilization, a real deep isolation. And I've been wondering, well, why is that? You know, why are there seemingly so many people depressed and shit? Why do we feel disconnected, isolated, lonely, when there are so many people? And we're such a clearly social species. What's going on? So Jean Liedloff spent 3 years living amongst the tribes of South America and the Amazon, one in particular called the Yaquana tribes. And she noticed something when she was over there. She only went over there because she had this vague feeling that she had learned something. But through living there, she noticed something about these people. They're so fucking happy. They're the happiest people she ever saw. From babies to adults, complete all the way along. Fulfilled in themselves and comfortable with their existence in such a profound way that it made such a massive impression on her. And that was the question that got her. Why? Why are they so happy? Why are they so, in their very deepest selves, connected to the world that they're in and the universe that they're in? And yet we're not. Why is that? Is it that they live free of the material distractions of our society? Is it that they spend all day meditating and living in the present? Is it because they don't have the media or the Illuminati bending their minds? No. No, see, all those are just symptoms. They're symptoms of what they have that we don't. And after observing them for many years, she figured it out. So here's the thing. Mankind, we're animals. People like to pretend that we're not animals, but we are. And for hundreds of millions of years, mammals have been evolving. And tens of millions of years, primates have been evolving. And we've always evolved to live in a certain way, in a way that is congruent with our evolution and our evolutionary needs. For millions and millions of years, we've come into the world the same way, until civilization. When civilization came along, we took a big old shit on the demands of evolution and fucked up all our children. You see, humans are a really funny animal. They have this strange adaptation that they are born prematurely. In other words, they're born before they're fully formed. It used to be thought that it was because of the size of the hips that a woman would need to get a fully formed head out would mean that there would be a cost-benefit analysis, because if she's got really wide hips, she can't run as efficiently. So women got to the maximum possible hip width that they can to give birth to the baby without compromising the ability to run. Turns out that's all bollocks. Actually, what it is that human adaptation is amazing because we give birth early so that the latter part of the embryonic development happens outside of the womb. Why? Because we're the most fucking social creatures ever. We need human interaction to develop in such a profound way. That's how we're so fucking smart. We learn from each other. We're interconnected. That's humanity. I've often noticed, and it's often been said, that our civilization is designed to separate ourselves from our finely tuned instincts, from the apparently superficial levels to the profound, like when to eat, We have a mechanism inbuilt of when to eat. It's called hunger. That's when you eat. But we have to regiment everything because we're so time obsessed. We have 3 meals a day, and that's when you eat. Or when do you wake up? There's a natural mechanism called waking up. That's when you wake up. But because we're so time obsessed, we regiment it. We wake up before we're ready. It's this pattern of the external overriding and imposing on the internal that points to the larger message. Don't trust yourself. Don't trust your body. This is not a healthy message for a species. And as Lidloff points out, when it comes to how we raise children, it's a whole deeper affair. In short, evolution has perfectly adapted us to cope with how we should continue the evolutionary line. But we've fucked all over our instincts by suppressing them, ignoring them, and it's fucked up generation after generation on a very, very profound level. And it's something that you don't notice until you see it. And that's what this book does. It highlights the obvious, the painfully obvious. So for millions and millions of years, we've all been raised pretty much the same. Baby pops out, a traumatic enough affair, but one that evolution is ready for and has prepared us for. After that, because we're such a social species, the little fella hangs around with his group, with his pack, with his tribe, whatever you want to call it. And this goes right back through to mammals. He's carried around by his mum, he gets involved in everything that happens, and that's how he develops into somebody who is at ease with themselves and the world around them, because his evolutionary necessity for commune has been fulfilled, because that's what we need. That's why we're such a social species. That's how we learn. That's how we're the amazing creatures we are, because we are so tight-knit socially. We need human interaction as badly as we need food. But what kind of people does a continuum upbringing produce? See, we don't know because we don't have it. We've lost it. But these more basic, primitive people, which Lidloff found, who've probably all been killed off by now, they've got it. And what kind of people does it produce? Independent, strong, sociable, happy people. And how could it not? From this basic place of safety in the arms of an elder, the baby gets to experience everything. And now you might think, and indeed we've been told, the baby that spends its time in the arms of its parents or family or whatever will become clingy and needy. You might think that, and you're absolutely wrong. It creates the opposite. It creates independent, individual, spirited people. See, they do everything together. They sleep together, they eat together, they move around together. And see, from this basic point, the evolutionary need for the continuum is fulfilled. How can you not grow up to be at one with yourself and with the universe that you're in? They don't see themselves as separate from the world, like we do. Like we see ourselves as isolated, alone. So contrast this to how we treat our lot in the modern, civilized world. See, it only takes a second to empathise with a newborn baby. You just have to think about it. We know for a fact that when a baby comes out of the womb, it doesn't have any sense of self, not for 12 to 18 months. And there is a test that you can do with that, whereby you get put a dot on a baby's forehead and put it in front of a mirror. And as soon as it touches this, it's developed a sense of self. And they've tried this, and it actually works with some primates. See, so a newborn doesn't know any difference between the outside world and the inside world. It's all one. It's all one thing. And so if there's a problem with the inside, there's a problem with the outside, and vice versa. And they have only one need, and only one need, apart from food and oxygen and all those things. That is that their continuum is fulfilled. I'm going to read a passage from the book. This is Lidloff speaking from the point of view of a newborn baby. At a time, there's no concept of time when you're a baby as well. In other words, a baby left alone for an hour is eternity, because there's no time. All time is infinite, until such a time comes when time can be conceptualized. But it can't when they're newborn. They are just an energy, a timeless, spaceless consciousness. Okay, so she's describing a newborn baby that the mother has brought home. She loves him with a tenderness that she has never known before. At first, it's hard for her to put him down after feeding, especially because he cries so desperately when she does. But she's convinced that she must. For her mother has told her, and she must know, that if she gives in to him now, he'll be spoilt and cause trouble later. She wants to do everything right. She feels for a moment that this little life that she holds in her arms is more important to her than anything else on earth. She sighs and puts him gently in the cot, which is decorated with yellow ducklings and matches his whole room. She straightens baby's vest and covers him with an embroidered sheet and blanket bearing his initials. She notes them with a satisfaction. Nothing has been spared in perfecting the baby's room. She bends to kiss the infant's silky cheek and moves towards the door as the first agonized shriek shakes the body. His body. Softly, she closes the door. This is an important bit. She has declared war upon him. Her will must prevail over his. Through the door, she hears what sounds like someone being fucking tortured. I put the fucking in myself. Her continuum sense recognizes it as being such. Nature does not make clear signals that someone is being tortured unless it is the case. It is precisely as serious as it sounds. She hesitates. Her heart pulls her towards him, but she resists and goes on her way. He's been changed and fed. She is sure he does not really need anything. And so she lets him weep until he's exhausted. He awakens and cries again. His mother looks in at the door to ascertain that he is in place. Softly, so as not to awaken him in any hope of attention, she shuts the door again. She hurries to the kitchen where she is working and leaves that door open that she can hear the baby, just in case anything bad happens to him. You can cover a room in lovely fluffy ducks and whatever else, but a nicely decorated torture chamber is still a torture chamber. And if you don't think it's torture, just think for a second. An eternity on your own in darkness, in oblivion. And you don't have the consolation of a self yet. The only thing that matters is that this kid develops the feeling that the world isn't for him, that he is in the world but not of the world. There's a separation there, a bleak isolation. Now, where do you think that comes from? Because I think loads more people feel this than actually talk about it. And it goes on from here. Evolution says we hang out together. We're in community and union. We come along and say, no, you get to that room. I'm going to put a fucking wall up between us. That's you now. You're now isolated. You go somewhere else. You go out for a walk. Perhaps the chance to the baby to get some in-arms time, you know? Actually connect with you as a human being. Get in the pram. No, I'm not going to touch you. I don't want you anywhere near me. You're going to be over there. Stop crying. Why are you crying? See, but the people in this tribe that Lidloff went to visit kept the continuum going. The kids hang out with them from birth to forever, when they're good and ready to go and explore on their own. I mean, you ever see any other primate do this? You ever see a chimpanzee put its kid in a fucking another room, say, go on, start off, I'm going to put a wall up between us? No, they follow their instincts. We ignore them. See, for me, this could well be where my own sense of deep underneath everything isolation comes from. And I think it's so fucking common in our society. So common. But you know where it's not common? In these tribes where the continuum is fulfilled. You think they ever have depression? Fuck no. It doesn't mean anything to them. Look at this girl.
Anxiety holds me a hostage inside of my house, inside of my head. Mom says, where did anxiety come from?
You think that society would have produced that girl? Fuck no. Come on. You think if she'd had the continuum fulfilled, if she knows and believes her rightful place in the universe and doesn't even know it, it's just like inbuilt, it's part of her, it's just like she is belonging, she is right. You think she would be like that? Fuck no. What about this guy?
Sie wollte eine wahrhaftige Weltanschauungspartei sein.
Think he was happy? Think he felt at one with the universe? Think he had his continuum fulfilled? What about this guy?
to the muttering idiot sitting opposite me.
And what about this guy? I had a really fucking nice family. Really nice. Still are. But shit, we were left to cry. It's a standard thing in our society. It's so fucked. You know, I heard a baby crying alone in his room the other day. When I heard it, he was kind of representing all of our civilization. And I kind of felt this, like, fucking huge pain in me. And don't get me wrong, his parents are fucking amazing. By the standards of our culture. By the tribes, the standards of the tribes that Lidloff are going to visit, they would be fucking locked up. But every parent would be. The people in the tribe would say, "What the fuck are you doing? Why are you locking him away in a dark room? Are you fucking nuts? Don't you like him? Don't you love him? What's going on? Do you hate this kid?" No, it's for his own good. He's got to learn to be alone. But why? Oh, you know, because he'll get clingy. He'll get fucked up is what he'll get. You know, in this culture, we mostly frown on people beating their kids, right? Are we kind of down with that? Because it's for their own good. I gotta hurt him. For his own good. He needs to learn that you're alone in this fucking world. And it's savage. But you think that locking a baby alone in a dark room of eternity of blackness is any worse? Hey, at least when you beat a kid, at least you're giving him some contact. And we crave that shit. And here's the thing. The kids in these tribes who had their evolutionary continuum needs met, they don't turn out to be little shits. They don't have colic. They never fight. They never argue. Jean Lidloff, who was there for 3 years, said she never saw the kids argue once. They never got disciplined. They never got told off. They never misbehaved. They were never cruel. She never saw terrible twos. She never saw kids fighting. I mean, why would they? If you are so fucking content with your own self and so self-assured that you don't even have to think about it, it wouldn't even occur to you to think about it. You're so part of existence itself. You've got nothing to be angry about, no matter what happens on the outside. We think it's a different species, it's the same fucking species. They just respond to their evolutionary needs and their evolutionary instructions. And we say, fuck 'em, fuck 'em. But this isn't our society. I'll let Chaplin say what I'm trying to say.
Our knowledge has made us cynical, our cleverness hard and unkind. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness and gentleness. Without these qualities, life will be violent and all will be lost.
Yeah, we think too much and feel too little. And why? So here's my dream. What if we lived in a world where we regained this, where we had our continuums fulfilled, where we followed our instincts, where we stopped man handing on misery to man? It's not always been like that, and it's not like that all over the world. We'd still have disease and floods and earthquakes and wars and shit, although probably a lot fewer wars. Remember this guy? Yeah. Put him, bring him up in that tribe. See if it comes out and wants to fucking kill all the Jews. So the burning question is, what do I know about raising children? Nothing. Fuck all. But I've got my instincts, and so have you. See, I have no doubt. I've no doubt of the love in people's hearts. I have no doubt of the love that all parents have for their children. I see it all the time. A lot of my friends have children. They love them dearly, intensely, of course. But nevertheless, I believe we have a culture of torturing our offspring by ignoring our inbuilt evolutionary instincts in favour of the intellect. The intellect is recent, doesn't know what it's doing. Our instincts are ancient. They've been crafted over millions of years to be perfect. And we ignore them at our peril. See, the intellect has its place in problems, for sure. It's great for combating disease and building cities and making this camera that I'm recording on and this computer that I'm going to upload on. But the intellect, when it comes to doing things that have to do with instinct, it's got no place. It's an idiot. It's an absolute idiot. We come out complete and whole human beings, and then we get fucked up. How about we break the cycle? Fix the source. So the message of the book is this: follow your instincts. They've been there for millions of years, guiding us, shaping us, telling us what to do. They're reliable, demonstrably so. But what is demonstrably ineffective and unreliable is the attempt of the intellect to wade in where it's shit, it's crap. Listen to your heart and compassion to guide you, not the foolish words of another person who is as deeply twisted and fucked up as we all are in this culture. I don't think this is the first video I'll do on this topic. I mean, I can't really, because it's the topic of life itself. But comment below. I could be wrong about all this. This could be a load of nonsense. It could be that our instincts are all wrong and we should ignore them. But come on, millions of years of evolution compared to some shitty idea. But comment below and I'll do a video about the comments. Alright, that's the end of the video. Go and do life.